Gabriel may be a Bible basher, but he decided in the middle of the night he did not want his brains bashed in by Negan and Lucille, so he decided to pick up and leave. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment, here to review The Walking Dead Season 7, Episode 9. And Gabriel is gone. Gabriel has packed up his stuff. He's taken a lot of the gear, a lot of the items, a lot of the stock from Alexandria. He's put it in the back of his wagon and he has drove off into the distance. And that's left Rick Grimes and his crew with a rock in the road.
Not a very Christian thing to do for Gabriel Ezekiel, amigo, huh? Apparently, a dark, mysterious figure rised from the passenger seat as the car drove away. Now, I didn't actually clock that. Did you clock that?
I think I did.
So who is it?
Now, that I don't really know, but what I do know is you made a video the other day, and I believe you got Gabriel and Ezekiel mixed up. And someone said that is unforgivable, and the fact that you've not seen past Season 8 gives you no right to talk about these characters, so I would like your thoughts on that.
My thoughts on that? It wasn't actually me that said it, right? Amy said it. She got them confused, because I did a list with Amy, and you know what? Is it that hard to get Gabriel and fucking Ezekiel mixed up?
Well, this can't be a racism thing because her favourite character's Michonne, so
exactly.
Nobody say that we thought they looked the same or nothing like that. It must have just been a slip of the tongue.
Aye. No, it's like if Ezekiel took off his wig, I'm sure he'd look like Gabriel. But the fact is, he doesn't.
He doesn't.
It doesn't.
What?
Yo, fact of the matter is this, man, they're two boring bastards. And so is Michonne. Let's just fire them on to the same fucking cannon.
See the level of... See what I have to work with here on this channel? It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable, Jeff. But you know what?
I need to start reviewing this on Son of Scotland TV.
You go ahead and do that, but... not a chance. Meanwhile, let's meet the group of jobbers at the hilltop. Rick, Maggie, Sasha, Carl, Michonne, Tara, Rosita, Daryl, and Jesus. It's just a band of who's of a jobber crew.
Right. The last episode, this group walked into the hilltop like their shit didn't stink, and now they're practically begging Gregory for help, right, to take on Negan and the Saviors. Why can't we fucking be honest here? Why is realism out the window? Just look at this group, right? Even if this was Rick's group mixed with the best that Alexandria had to offer, right, when they first met them at Season 5, it would be no match for the Saviors. Rick's like, oh, we've got this person, and honestly, they were talking about who they have, and then Enid popped up, and then they're like, oh, we've got Enid too. As if Enid could somehow be a difference maker in the fight against the Saviors.
Yeah.
Let's just cut the crap here. She's like, what, 15, 16? What's she gonna do?
Yeah.
Why are we pretending...
Built like Daryl's fucking crossbow bolts, man.
Why are we pretending that this group here is gonna take down the Saviors? I mean, you just look at the... It's embarrassing, man. It's fucking embarrassing.
See this scene with Gregory, right? Gregory's just an arsehole, but you know what? We've established already this season that Maggie's pretty much leading the hilltop and that Gregory's just a shitebag. We'll do a theory, but if Gregory's not willing to put the hilltop in the war, then he may as well just get killed.
Yo.
And we've seen Rick kill people for way less.
Yo, you see Walter, right? He didn't get Walt Jr. and Skylar and Marie and fucking... dig up that person that Jesse was dating in Season 2 and then walk them into Hermanos Los Polos and say to Gus, here's my crew, we're going to take you down. You know what I mean? Because he knew that Gus had killers.
Yeah.
Like, you weren't going to... Just be honest, man. Like, oh, Mike was a fucking killer, right? Mike was the man. You weren't going to rock up with some fucking chick. But in the Walking Dead universe, they want you to believe like Sasha is capable of taking down 4 Savior men. Even on the Kingdom, they're trying to tell you that Carol's the best fighter they've got. Really?
No, not
pushing 60, Carol.
Yep.
Matchstick Finn Carol. no physicality, never been in a fight in her life up until
2 minutes ago.
I guess she was fighting with her conscience well to kill fucking Karen and David. I don't know, but it's just it's not believable. And then, see, most shows are realistic. Oh, but those shows are toxic masculine. No, seeing Sopranos, right? The housewives don't come in and start beating up the made men. Doesn't happen.
No.
See in Sons of Anarchy. See the whores at Diosa. They wouldn't come in and beat up the club in a real fight.
No.
That shit wouldn't happen. But seeing The Walking Dead, the likes of Rosita and Tara and Maggie and Sasha and Carol, we're supposed to believe that they can beat up men double their size, and multiple of them. It's not realistic. It's fucking garbage. It is. Just got to call it. It's woke as hell. It is fucking woke as hell. And I'm not saying that a woman can't beat up a man, or I'm not saying that a woman can't be part of a fighting group. They can. But have you noticed the protagonist groups are mainly made up of women, and the antagonist groups are pretty much all men, bar like one or two?
Yeah. And the one or two are there to kill the women of the protagonist team.
And it's just, come on.
Right, moving on.
No, but let's say you were betting your life on this shit and you looked at the saviors. Even if you didn't take it number by number, let's say when Negan was at Alexandria and they were picking up the supply run, let's say you took Negan's 10 best and you took Rick's 10 best. Not the people that you think are Rick's 10 best, but the people that the show tell you are Rick's 10 best. That would be made up of the likes of Maggie, Carol, Sasha, Rosita. Yes or no?
Absolutely, it would be, yeah.
Negan's 10 best are going to be made up of fucking Negan, Dwight, Simon, actual fucking men. The Croat. And who would, if you had to bet your life on who's winning that fight, that 10 versus 10?
I'm going with the Saviors.
Anyway, rant aside there.
Well, no, the rant may continue because Enid leads them outside and we meet a couple of hilltop residents. A dime a dozen. Bertie, Wesley, Andy, Freddie, and Eduardo, and we are the 5 Mongos.
Yeah, led by some woman saying, aye, we're ready to fight.
Aye, Bertie. Daryl then points out, we might not need a large army, we can just find the right stuff and blow them up. Yeah.
Yo, honestly, man, The Walking Dead was better when... It is what it is. See, when Rick and Shane were just telling the women to stay and cook dinner and look after the kids, that's...
Right.
That is when...
You're right. Jesus whips out a walkie-talkie. He's like, I stole this for the Saviours. We'll hear Negan if he talks over it, but it's time to pay a visit to King Ezekiel.
Yo, even in season 3, right? Even in season 3, the governor allowed Haley to sit on the wall and keep guard. But he wasn't sending Haley out to do anything.
Aye.
He wasn't sending Haley out to help take down the military.
No. She was not capable. Had to be the men. Right. See the kingdom stuff. They meet Richard outside. Richard obviously wants to fight the Saviours. We need to convince the king. Jesus, we want an audience with the king. Fuck the king, right? And why is the Saviours agreed a deal with the kingdom where they don't go in? Negan is the guy that takes over everywhere, half their stuff, takes their women, kills a guy just to get the point over. But with the kingdom, they don't do that. They don't even. The kingdom don't even. 95% of the kingdom don't even know they're in a deal.
I can't remember who it was. It may have been Richard, but I believe it was either him or somebody else. It was either him or Jesus. I'm pretty sure it was either Richard or Jesus. But they did explain that there was a deal with the kingdom and the Saviours, and that the Saviours and Negan, more importantly, respected and somewhat feared the numbers and the fight power, the manpower of the kingdom, and that is why they essentially had a better deal with him, and that they wouldn't step inside the kingdom.
I'm going to call bullshit in that, right? You want to know why I'm going to call bullshit?
But even when they meet, even that meet outside of the kingdom, you had that guy, remember, that was like beating up Richard?
Yeah.
And it was almost like Richard wasn't allowed to defend himself. So even though they may have a slightly better deal where they're not as like dominant or not as aggressive towards the kingdom, they still think that they're still taking half their shit.
I think the deal's a load of shite, to be honest. How would Negan know about the manpower if none of the saviors have ever stepped foot inside the fucking kingdom?
I mean, maybe they've been outside the kingdom, they've looked at it and went, oh fuck, they do have
Yeah, but sure,
numbers.
but no one at the kingdom knows about it. Apart from like a few people. So how could they have been outside to look at the numbers? It's just a load of shite.
I mean, maybe he's seen the tiger.
It's just a load of shite to give excuses for Daryl to be able to hide at the kingdom and to also make the kingdom seem good enough for Rick to convince to fight. Ah, man. Like, if the kingdom are good enough to fight the saviors on their own, which is why Negan's never took them over, then what the fuck's the need of the hilltop and Bertie and the gang?
I don't think the kingdom would maybe beat them in a fight, but I think the kingdom could certainly decide which way a fight would go.
The kingdom don't even... They've got like 3 guns between them and 2 horses.
And a bunch of sticks.
Yeah, and Morgan fucking training them. And apparently Carol's their best fighter. Oh, well, yeah, they're going to defeat the saviors, aren't they? Just a load of fucking shite.
On what planet, if Richard and Carol, if they go into what planet are you betting Carol?
Exactly, man. Ridiculous.
Planet The Walking Dead.
Morgan finds out that Glenn and Abraham are dead.
Yo, see if season 2 happened like 5 years later, they would have sent Beth and Patricia to the school to try and get the equipment to save Carl.
Yeah. No.
Right. That Shane and Otis, you guys stay in the kitchen and keep an eye on the stew.
You stay there.
You keep an eye on the hot pot.
Ezekiel basically refuses a deal. Rick's like, right then. Richard's like, I'll work on Ezekiel, brother.
Very awkward, this, wasn't it? They have to come down and address him by your majesty.
It's fucking cringe.
And then you've got Jerry. You call him King Ezekiel.
Does Negan have to do this? You know what I mean?
Yo, how can he... Honestly, why didn't Rick just say, how the fuck can we call you a king when you're giving half your shit away to the saviors?
What king does that, you big fud?
No, but seriously.
No, I know. Absolutely. Right.
He may be king of the kingdom, but he's king of nothing outside.
Daryl stays behind because he needs to stay safe. They then meet this roadblock. It's like a tripwire, explosives, dynamite, and it takes up the next 15 minutes. I
actually thought the episode was all right up to this point, but for me, this is when it went downhill.
Can you actually explain to me what the fuck this is about? Rick wants to keep the herd. Then he wipes them out, right? They dismantle some of the dynamite. Rosita, who we don't even know if is an explosives expert, just sorts this out, alright?
Yeah, Rosita all of a sudden has turned into like this explosive expert, knows everything about bombs and fireworks, explosives, you name it. She's like, right, well, what we need to do is we need to cut these wires, then we need to dispose of this, and then take this out. And Rick's like, right, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to dispose of this safely, and we're going to keep the dynamite or the fireworks or whatever because we can use this as a weapon against the saviors because we don't really have that much to begin with. So they waste a lot of time doing that, and it was very slow, it was very painful. We had some of the group that belonged to the Hilltop, they just decided to leave. We then had Negan come through on the radio because they had a walkie-talkie that I believe, was it Jesus?
Yep.
Yeah, Jesus gave them the walkie-talkie so they could keep an eye. And by the way, I thought the Jesus interaction with Richard when they arrived at the kingdom was all right. And then the group had an issue with giving their guns to Richard. You just gave half your shit to fucking Negan, who bashed 2 guys' brains in.
Yeah.
Yet Richard, who seems like a decent guy, and a guy that Jesus is trusting, and Jesus is telling you that the kingdom's an ally, the kingdom's a safe place, and all of a sudden, now they have issues with...
Daryl, the little bitch. Oh, let's just go. He's like half back in the SUV. Fuck off, Daryl.
You know, like, what sense does that make? You know, why don't we just chuck you back in a cellmate and play Easy Street? How about that? But anyway, we then have Negan come on. Negan announces the death of Fat Joey, and he says, you know, I'm going to miss him. He was a good guy. I loved Fat Joey, and he's like, the biggest crime, the biggest disaster to come from this is now that Slim Joey will just be now known as Joey. So yeah, I guess there was 2 Joeys.
Yep, this was
and now
best part of the episode.
Now that Fat Joey's gone, Little Joey or Slim Joey's just going to be known as Joey. And Negan's like, now we don't need 2 different Joeys. Slim Joey will only be known as Joey. It's a goddamn shame. You know what? We can say one about the Negan character, but I think he did bring some much needed comedy to The Walking Dead because it's been a while since anything in The Walking Dead was funny.
Doom and gloom city, man.
Now people can pretend that
Abraham
was like a stand-up comedy genius. He wasn't.
He was alright, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, all right.
Like,
That's about as far as I go. Sorry, but that's about
if
as far as I go.
Abraham's like the fifth funniest guy you've got on a show, then you might be okay. If he's number
Hands
one,
down, number one, you're fucked. You know?
Right, Rick and Michonne hotwire the cars. They use the wire. This would not work.
Yeah, so the cars obviously are connected, the wires that are holding the dynamite, and then they jump in the cars and they simultaneously like drive down the highway, and the wires that were connecting the dynamite was just cutting all the walkers in half. And like you said, I mean, this would not work. Either the wire would like fall off the car, you know, it would get ripped off the car, or the wire would get cut, or the force of the walkers, that many walkers driving into that would force like the cars to be dragged towards each other.
Yeah, they would get jolted a bit.
Yeah, you know, but they were just like driving in a straight line, and there was like no repercussion driving and hitting all these bodies. Come on, that just wouldn't happen. It fucked up physics. It's not realistic, but this show's not been realistic in a long time. So
yeah, and like they do that, then they get out, and then Rick and Michonne literally nearly get ate alive just to jump in an SUV. But no, they made clear here, oh, we have to put the cars back where they were, so they don't know we were here. You just drove the two cars with the fucking wire like half a mile down the road. They're going to know that was moved. So what's the point of moving all the other cars back on the on-ramp? This scene took up too long of the... Too much.
I don't get it. I mean, is Negan and the Saviors doing this because they thought that they would go to the kingdom, or they messing about with them? It's like, Negan's 1 minute he's like, oh, I want you to get me stuff and we're working together. Then by doing this, is he not hampering Rick's group, or all the groups, to be honest?
Yeah. But look how close this was to the sanctuary, right? We're talking less than 5 miles.
And another thing, they weren't in a fucking car.
Yeah.
So why didn't he need to do this?
It was just ridiculous, right?
Yo, it's not like they were in a vehicle and they needed to get past here to continue their journey.
Yeah.
You could just walk through it.
Simon appears looking for Daryl. He doesn't find him. I mean, it was like...
Rick's like, it's collection day. And he's like, no, not quite. Don't panic. Says he's looking for Daryl. Rick says he's not here. Simon looks around. He goes into like the pantry or the garage where all the stuff's kept, and there's fuck all there.
Yep.
And that's because Gabriel's cleared a lot.
Absolutely right. Rick finds Gabriel's boat. Oh, must be the boat where Rick and Aaron found the supplies. Aaron then packs a bag to go with Rick. Eric's like, don't go, Aaron. Don't go. My asshole needs tending, brother. And then Rick, they arrive at the lake, and then it turns out this like massive group just appears, and we are 99.9% sure that this is the Junkyard group. Rick smiles because he's found a group of a lot of people to use in this war.
But you know, he doesn't know anything about this group. This group could be as bad as the Saviors. This group could be worse than the Saviors. I mean, this could be a group of fucking cannibals, or, you know, a group of rapists, or a group of murderers, or, you know, this could be a group that is going to do things way worse than the Saviors have ever done. Yet, you know, being outnumbered like 10 to 1 and completely surrounded, Rick's smiling.
Yep.
What sense does it make?
See, in The Walking Dead, right? See, instead of these groups of, like, let's be honest, social justice warriors, is it too much to ask that they couldn't come across, like, a group of, you know, like, a black gang? Like a triad gang? Like, majority, like, triad, majority black? Like, fuck, I don't know, like, majority Italian Americans? Fucking something different. Why's it got to be a group of, like, women?
What about motorcycle gang or something?
No, but you know, why's it got to be a group every time of, like, butch women? We're like the odd man.
Who would not have survived this long?
Yeah, no, and then Rick's smiling away. It's like, these people could just fucking shoot you. It's cringe, man. That's the end of the episode. It was alright. Who's in the front of the car with Gabriel? Who knows? That's the rock in the road. How many rocks are you giving it out of 10?
Ah, God. First half I thought was alright. Second half, I thought the second half was pretty damn horrible, not going to lie. Although I did really like the Negan radio speech about Big Joey. So, you know, for me, that was an episode saver. I will give Rockin' the Road... I'll give it a 4 out of 10. That's about as good as I can do. I'm sorry.
I'll give a 4 as well. I was debating a 5, but you're right. The second half of the episode was absolute shite. But episode 10 tomorrow, 10 p.m. Be there, be square. Till next time. Peace.